brutal battle against the Swamlaan. The roars of the Swamlaan echoed through the cavern like a choir of hunger and annihilation. Their thin, translucent wings beat the air in raspy gusts, and the acidic stench seeping from their mouths thickened the atmosphere until it felt like a boiler ready to burst. Darius slipped backward, his heel skidding on loose rock, his back hitting the cold stone wall. His breath came dry and ragged, each heartbeat thundering directly in his ears. Beside him, Vra'kor ignited his plasma blades, their violet-blue flames stretching out with a razor-sharp hiss. His armor was cracked, one shoulder strap nearly charred through. Neither spoke. There was no need. Yautja and human, once enemies, now depended on each other to survive. The Swamlaan swarmed again. Dozens. Maybe hundreds. Darius tightened his grip on the carbine. He fired, stepped back, fired again, reloaded. Shells clattered, explosions echoed. Their black blood splattered across his face, burning hot like molten tar. Vra'kor spun, carving wide arcs. Each slash of his plasma blades became a streak of light, ripping the darkness apart, followed by the shriek of Swamlaan bodies being severed. A creature dropped from the cave ceiling. Darius didn't have time to look up. Vra'kor roared, slammed into him with his shoulder, knocking him aside, and drove his blades straight through the creature's head. Its skull cracked with a brittle snap. Darius gasped, sweat mixing with his own blood. "Thanks." Vra'kor answered only with a low growl, but his pale red eyes lingered on Darius a heartbeat longer than usual before he had to dash away again to avoid another lunge from the monstrous worms. The battle dragged on relentlessly. Every minute stretched into a century for Darius. His breathing grew heavier, strained as he fought to make his body still obey him. Suddenly, a faint beam of white light slipped into the cavern from afar. Dawn. But they no longer had the strength to see it as hope. Darius collapsed to one knee. His hands shook so badly he could no longer hold the gun. Vra'kor's breathing was ragged too. His cloaking device had long since failed, his armor in tatters, each plate scorched black. But the Swamlaan did not stop. From deep within the darkness, another shriek rose. Then pairs of golden eyes opened, twice as many, 3 times as many. Darius looked around, a cold blade of despair sliding up his spine. They could not win. We can't outrun them. Vra'kor growled low, agreeing. Darius slipped a hand into his pocket. His fingers touched something cold, cylindrical, lighter than he remembered. The last grenade, the one he carried in case he ever had to fight Vra'kor himself. Now it had become the only thing that could save them both. Darius swallowed hard. "I'll use this." Vra'kor snapped toward him, eyes flashing. He understood immediately. He stared at Darius for a long, deep moment, no longer the gaze of a hunter sizing up prey, but of a comrade at the edge of their final stand. Darius pulled the pin. A small, sharp click echoed. He hurled the grenade toward the oncoming tide of Swamlaan. A burst of white light. Down! Vra'kor yanked him to the ground, covering Darius completely with his battered armor. The blast wave ripped through the cavern like a storm of fire. The earth shook so violently that the cave ceiling cracked into a web of fractures. Then everything gave way. Stones fell like rain. A wall of red dust rose. The screams of the Swamlaan were cut short, severed like threads. Darius heard only the thud of rock smashing into Vra'kor's armor, the predator's pained roar, and then everything dissolved into thick, consuming darkness. The cavern collapsed completely. Everything was swallowed.